My name is Meylysa. I'm an English teacher, ESL teacher, English as a second language, at Hawaii Literacy Drop-In Center. And I wanted to talk today about the importance of names and introductions in a classroom. I mainly teach beginner and low intermediate classrooms these days. Though I've taught many different levels, and the thing that I've noticed that works in every level is that the teacher should make an effort to learn everybody's name. But not only the teacher, it's also good to have the students learn each other's names as well. So I'm going to tell you how I do it in the beginner classroom. And basically it's all persistence. You just have to not give up. You have to try to say every student's name in your class the whole time. And you won't remember everyone's name in the beginning, but that's okay because each time you try, you're getting closer to remembering their name. Now what I do in my beginner classroom and what I teach new teachers to do is to write a special dialogue on the board. It's an introduction for the students to memorize, so that they can introduce themselves to other people. And it goes like this. Let me introduce myself. My name's Meylysa. I'm American. I've been in Hawaii for 3 years. I've been coming to the drop-in center for 2 years. I'm a teacher. Okay, so that's an example. I write that on the board. The reason I use those sentences is because they're pretty standard. People will ask that question. People will want to know that when they first meet the student. They'll want to know where they're from, so they can say they're Chinese or they're Filipino or whatever country they're from. They can say how long they've been in Hawaii or wherever you are teaching. How long have you been in the United States? How long have you been in England? Wherever. And they can also tell you how long they have been coming to your school. Now this one is very important because I really think it's important the students know the name of the school they're going to. You may think it's funny, but if you've ever learned another language, you know that when you go to another country and you're trying to speak the language, you cannot say hardly anything, let alone your own address. So if you do not practice the name of your school, you're not going to know what the name of your school is. And so unless you have the students actually practice saying the name of their school, they are not going to know the name of their school. But it's really important that they know the name of their school so they can tell other people what school they're going to. Okay, and this is also a good introduction conversation they can have with their classmates. So after they practice this introduction, you have to have them memorize it. At least that's what I do. Because they're not going to have a notebook when they talk to people in the real world. So you want them to memorize it. So the way I do that is I just have them say the same introduction every class. Now, obviously this is for beginners. If you had higher level students, they would get bored. But this works very well for beginners because beginners, they need some kind of structure to make them feel like they can actually accomplish it, they can memorize it, and they can feel good about it. And the grammar in those sentences is not easy. I'm American is easy, but I've been coming to the drop-in center for 3 years is not easy grammar. And I have been in Hawaii. I've been in Hawaii for 3 years is not easy grammar. But if they memorize these sentences, it's an entrance into a little more advanced grammar, but they will be speaking English perfectly. And that's what you want. You want your students to memorize the sentences and feel good. Feel like, I can speak English perfectly. Okay? So that's what I do in my classroom. Now, I have every student walk up to the front of the classroom and say the words. Now, if the students are new to this introduction, I will write the introduction on the board, and if they need to, they can look at it, and if they've memorized it, they can look at their classmates and say it. And after they introduce themselves, I write their name on the board, and then I have the whole class say hello to that student using their full name. So if the student's name is Tom Kim, then I would have the class say, "Good morning, Tom," or "Good morning, Tom Kim." And then the student would sit down, the next student would come up. So as they're introducing themselves, I'm writing their name on the board. Now, I have to ask them how to spell their name, and that's okay. I have to learn how to spell their name. And I have the students write the names as I write them on the board if they don't already have the names in their notebooks. And after all of the introductions are done, I have them say good morning to everybody in the room, whether it's a student, a teacher, a volunteer, visitor, everybody. And then after that, I might quiz them. And all this process is to get me to remember their names and to get the students to remember each other's names. So I might ask the whole class, what's this person's name? What's this person's name? Until we do everybody. It's a review of the names. And eventually students do remember each other's names. And it makes them feel more of a part of the class. They really enjoy coming. It makes them feel good that they can say the other student's name and they can say my name and I can say their name. Makes me feel good because then I can ask them questions with their name and they will answer. And I highly recommend that you learn your students' names. If you're a beginner class, you can try what I do. I think it's very effective. It works for beginners and low intermediates. If you want more advanced introductions, you can be more creative because the students are more acceptable to variety. Anyway, that is my method. It's worked very well, so I wanted to share it with you. And if you are a volunteer teacher at the drop-in center, this is a way to explain what I do when I do my introductions. There is a method to it, and I hope that you gain some knowledge from this. If you have any comments or you want to share your own method of learning students' names and doing classroom introductions, then please email me at hi.english@gmail.com. That's hi.english@gmail. Or you can leave a comment in my blog. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming and viewing this video today. Have a great day.